my quilting family. Well, this is our coffee theme sew along, and this is our last border. Now this border is optional because this quilt is getting quite large already, and some people don't like a really big couch throw. My family, we're big people, we're not little people, and I have 3 grandchildren that all like to cuddle, so yeah, we make bigger couch throws. So this final border for me is the best scrap buster ever. If you want to conquer your Mount Scrapmore, this is one you need to learn, and it's piano keys. I know, piano keys is such a simple little border. Basically, you take all your leftover bits and bobs of fabric that you've put into this quilt, you put them into 2.5-inch strips, or 2-inch strips, or whatever you've got left, or whatever you like to sew with, whatever, and you make them 6.5, right? In this case, I've made mine 6.5, and I've made a big variety of them, and I just put them on one roll like this. So I know I've probably made too many piano keys, but they can go on the back now. My backing, they can be, like if there's a strip of just piano keys on the back, that works too. Or if you feel that this is big enough and you just want to add a little stop border, you know, a 2.5-inch stop border all the way around before you start pinning it, pin basting and quilting it, that's fine too. This is optional. But do take your leftover bits, sew them together to make strips of backing that you can add to the backing, and it makes an interesting back. And you can do this like piano keys or crumb blocks or whatever you like to do. This is your quilt. There's no rules. So I am going to show you a trick on piano key borders that makes your piano key border look like it's been mitered. It's beautiful when you're done. So come on, we'll show you how to pin this all together, and then we'll get it sewed up. Okay, so here we are at the cutting table, and the first thing we need to do is measure the width or length of the quilt. Now this thing measures out at 31 inches times 2, right? Because I've just doubled it. I'm not working in a big space, but so 31. Now those piano keys, because they're 2.5, they're 2.5 finished, right? Like they're 2 inches finished in the quilt. So what we're going to need is 31 strips. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 31. So that is going to fit along our edge, right? So what we want to do is we just want to take out the little strings. That's why I say that I just sew them all together and then I work with the little bits. And so what we're going to do is we're going to open this all up, and now we're going to pin our piano keys along the top portion and then sew them on. Now there shouldn't be too much easing needed because this is going to be very close as to what size they're supposed to be. You might be 1/2 inch out, and easing in 1/2 inch is nothing. There's nothing to that. Over the length of, like this is a 61-inch piece now, and it's 61 inches square, so it's not a lot of easing in you have to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to put them down like this, and we're going to just pin along like we did the last time. So this is about center, and one side will be just a tad longer than the other. Okay, so we just move that in like so, and we get it all pinned. There we go. This is going to ease together beautifully, sew together beautifully. Nothing is going to go too bad, too wrong with this. Okay, so we're going to do the tops and the bottoms, and okay, I'm going to do the top and the bottom, and I'll meet you back at the sewing machine. Okay, we're at the sewing machine and I've already sewed on one side, and I thought, well, we better explain what's happened. We measured this at 62 inches, right? Fully along the side. And 62 inches should be 31 of these 2-inch bits, right? And we have a little bit of extra for seam allowances, right? Well, when we actually line this up at 31 piano keys, right, it didn't work. It was short a full piano key. So I think because there's so many seams along here and my 1/4-inch foot's a little bit off too much and my 1/4-inch seam's a little too chubby, we had to go with 32. And once we put 32 in, it fits beautifully, which is bizarre because that never happens. So we got 32. We're going to do 32 piano keys on all 4 sides. I know I'm not taking into account for the corners, but I'll show you the trick. So here we go. We're going to just quickly go through and give this a quickly sew it into place because it fits so much better at 32. And that happens. That happens. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, you're kind of like, what have we done now, right? So, and that's one of the things that I think that quilters have to kind of, sometimes you just got to roll with the punch, and, you know, like, it is what it is, and stop fretting and worrying about stuff not working. Nobody knows, other than you and I, that it was supposed to be 31, and now it's 32 because my 1/4-inch seam is too chubby, right? So that's something, you know, is to roll with the punch. I kind of go with the flow and not stress over stuff, you know, just kind of, let's have fun with this. I mean, if you were over and you needed you needed fewer, that means that somewhere along the line, one of your strips is too skinny or whatever. Let's say you had 31.5 fits perfect. Well, you wouldn't start taking in your seam and making it fatter right at the edge or cutting off the edge. You would start, you know, putting in an odd chubbier seam throughout so it would ease in, right? So, you know, if you were like, you know what I'm saying? If it measured out to 31.5, you would need to get rid of 1 inch, and you would move it throughout your piano keys that you're going to sew on, not just the inch at the end. Okay, now we're just about more than halfway gone already. There we go. I love a piano key border. It's a cute way of moving through your scraps and the leftover bits. It always color matches your fabric, the fabric in your quilt. Now, if you went scrappy with this is a perfect time to go digging through your scraps, because then it wouldn't matter what piano keys you were putting on, right? And this, you know, I use this quite often in quilts just because I like the look of them. Okay, now here is, we're almost at the end. Now, and ta-da, we're at the end. And it does fit. This now fits beautifully along the side. There's no, you know, it adds an extra little bit of fabric. Yes, you're made this, you just now, by putting on 6.5 inches on both sides, you've made the entire quilt a foot larger, and you're going to make it a foot wider or taller. So this is what it looks like. And if they touch the fabric like here, don't worry about it. It's fine. Nobody's going to see it except you. And if it really bothers you that these two touch, this block with this fabric, the same fabric, and it touches, you can change it out. But honest to God, nobody will notice. Nobody except you. So let's do the trick. Let me show you the trick. I'm going to take what's left of our, because I got my husband to take the side pieces off of this roll of piano keys, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 3 and I'm going to rip it. Just like this, very quick. Very quick little rip. And it doesn't have to be perfect or anything like this. It just, you know, you make your rip, you pull out your excess threads because you don't want to sew that in, and then you take another 3, preferably not with the same fabric. So you might want to go, okay, we have to make 4 corners, so we can do this one. These 2 we can match up. These 2 we can match up. And we're just going to make 4 of them. And all we're doing literally is ripping them apart. Just 3 piano keys. You rip them out. You give them a good press if you need to. And there you go. So now we're going to make this look like the piano keys mitered around. So we've got 4 sets, right? We've got 4 sets of this little trick that we're going to show you. But I'm only going to show you the one. Now my husband said, when we were telling him to take 32 piano key strips off the sides, he was going, but that leaves you short for the corners. Well, this is why. This corner piece, these corner pieces work so well. So you have the one side like this, and you do the side like this. Now what you're going to do is you're going to sew them so it looks like this when you're done. And that will look like a mitered corner. Isn't that clever? Isn't that the cutest thing you've ever seen? And it's very simple to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay these the best that I can, as close as I can, to being straight. And I'm just, and you can feel your seams nest a little bit here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to mark this like so. And I'm going to try and nest this one as best I can. And there we go. So from point to point, this is going to be 6.5 inches, right? Or it's going to be 6.5 inches. So now what you want to do is you want to draw the line so that half of the block will be sewn. And we might have to go with a deeper pencil. I'm hoping you can see this. And there we go. Like that. Can you see this dark pencil? I hope. I normally wouldn't go that dark if I was doing something, but you guys need to see what we're doing. So what I'm going to do, I'm not even going to change feet. I'm going to sew right on that dark line. Right down the middle of this block. I am going to ask my cameraman to find my big shears here behind me so that I don't have to cut this off there. Now you would make 4 of these, just like that, and you would make sure that they do fit. Now you would decide right now, okay, do I like this block or do I like this block? So it's up to you which side you choose, but make sure that this edge and this edge are 6.5 inches. And then you just cut away the side that you don't like. I kind of like this block. So this is the one I'm going to keep. Now this edge is what I'm going to sew to our string. So this is the outer corner and this is the inner corner. Right, this one goes closest to the big quilt and this one goes right to the edge. Okay, so let me get all 4 of these done and we'll get the other sides on and we'll come back. Do you want to see what we did? We were able to do? This is so cute. Oh, okay, so here we go. Here we go. The mitered corners and here's the quilt. Big, beautiful 72 inches square. It's going to be perfect for napping on the couch with the grandkids and reading stories. It's going to be wonderful. Now we did put some stay stitching right on the very edge so that the quilt no longer stretches. Because that stay stitching when you're doing a piano key border, once you get the piano key border on, you need to stabilize it. And stay stitching is the best way to stabilize it. What's going to happen is that that stabilizing is not going to allow it to stretch, and it's going to be right underneath the binding. So here we go. So there we go. So what do you think? Put it in the comments below. Would you like to do another quilt along here right away, or do you want to see how we're going to quilt this? I think what we should do is try and quilt this. Do pin basting one, and then do a free motion quilting on it. It'll be perfect. Just perfect. So is this fun? Okay, you have a great day, and I hope this helped you conquer your Mount Scrapmore too. Bye! If you have questions about what you saw on this video, or you have ideas for content or something you want to see us do, please put those comments in the description below. But also, while you're there, like, share, and subscribe with your friends. That would really help us out. Okay, I want to thank you and have a great day.